In this video, we'll explore a bunch of concepts that are associated with configuring your chatbot. There is one thing we'll learn here. How do you teach your bot to be friendly and make conversation with your users? You want your bot to be able to respond with the standard stuff. Respond with a greeting if the user says hello. If the user expresses a sad emotion, you want your bot to be sympathetic. How do you get your bot to do this without setting up a whole bunch of configuration and back and forth responses in your default welcome intent? There is a way, and this particular clip will teach you how. Let's explore some of the building blocks that you need to configure in your chatbot. Look at the left navigation pane and you'll see a number of links. Let's start off with entities. We'll just do a quick overview here. We'll cover it in detail in the remaining portion of this particular section. Entities are basically objects or placeholders which your app can take action on. Entities are where you'll get information or extract information from users in order to fulfill the user's request. Now, you can explicitly train your bot in some specific ways. Google gives you some handles that you can use to tweak your bot. The documentation contains all the details of training. We won't be covering it in this course. Here, you can see, though, the history of the conversation that you've had with your bot. We've only ever said hello to our bot, so that's the only dialogue that's present there. The integrations tab shows you all the messaging platforms that Dialogflow can integrate with, and most of them you can do so with a single click. Here are a range of one click integrations that you can enable. If you scroll down, you'll see a list of languages which Dialogflow can work with. You have SDKs available in all of these languages if you want to integrate with your web app, your website, or even your wearable. You can go to the Analytics tab to see the usage patterns for your bot, how many sessions were set up, how many queries were executed per session yesterday, and so on. Dialogflow allows you to fulfill or complete user requests by calling into some external code which might integrate with other APIs or whatever you need in order to take the action that the user requested for. The fulfillment code is where you might connect to a database in order to make updates. You might retrieve information from a database or a third party API, so on and so forth. You'll find that the fulfillment page in your particular screen looks a little different because Google has made changes since we recorded this video. You can see fulfillment using cloud functions in addition to the traditional webhook fulfillment. Webhooks are just URLs to which you can send notifications when a particular event occurs. You can send a post event to a webhook and get a response in return. And this is what Dialogflow uses for fulfillment. We'll study this in detail in the last section of this course. Dialogflow wants you to get up and running with your chatbot very simply and very easily. And to this end, it gives you a bunch of pre-built agents. Pre-built agents are customizable agents that specialize in different areas. These are fully trained agents that are used to fulfill common use cases where you might need to use a chatbot. If you look carefully on screen, there is an agent for an alarm, a currency converter, an agent to interact with the vehicle's systems, and so on. These pre built agents will contain the machine learning model, the intents, the user expressions which map to these intents, and so on. All you need to do is write the fulfillment code because that is specific to your system. And Dialogflow also offers us Smalltalk. Smalltalk is a setting that you can enable in order to make your bots conversational, chatty, and friendly. This bot, if you enable the setting, will know how to make small talk with the user. All you need to do is to click on the enable slider here, and your bot will now be set up to conduct friendly conversations with the user. Basically, make small talk. Some examples of small talk are right here on the screen. If the user says, "How are you?" the agent might respond with, "Wonderful as always. Thanks for asking." If the user praises the bot will respond in the correct manner. Instead of you manually having to configure all the queries that the user could ask of your bot and corresponding responses, most of which will just involve small talk, simply go ahead and enable the setting for your bot. You've changed the setting on this page. Just click on Done And let's give it a spin. Let's see how small talk works. I switch over to the test pane on the right and type in "Hey there," and the bot responds with "Howdy." That is small talk for you. You know that small talk has been invoked because the action corresponds to smalltalk.greetings.hello. Once you have small talk enabled, I suggest you try out a number of other requests or queries. Say things like, "I'm feeling sad. I'm really excited today. Can you please help me?" And notice how the action changes based on your query. Your bot will seem more human, more friendly, more conversational if you have small talk enabled. So I would consider it a must have in any bot. And what we just discussed is the answer to this question. How do you teach your bot to be friendly? Enable small talk. You don't have to configure a bunch of requests and responses that resembles small talk. You just use the setting directly.